ways, the world is yourself pushed out. Every person you encounter, every relationship you experience is but a reflection of your own consciousness. The attachment you feel to others, the fear of being alone, these are nothing more than states of consciousness that you have accepted as real. But I say to you now, with all the conviction of my being, that true happiness, lasting fulfillment, comes not from outside yourself, but from within. Let us begin by understanding what it truly means to let them go. This is not about physically pushing people away or cutting ties with those you care about. It is about releasing your attachment to the idea that your happiness depends on them. It is about recognizing that the love, joy, and fulfillment you seek from others are already within you, waiting to be expressed. When you cling to others for your happiness, when you make your joy dependent on their presence or approval, you are denying your own divinity. You are saying to the universe, I am not enough on my own. I need this person to complete me. And the universe, being a perfect mirror, will reflect back experiences that reinforce this belief. But I tell you this, you are complete. You are whole. You are the operant power in your reality. The happiness you seek is not something to be found or gained, but something to be remembered and expressed from within. Imagine now, if you will, a state of being where you are perfectly content, perfectly at peace, perfectly happy, all on your own. Feel this state as vividly as you can. Feel the quiet joy that permeates your being, the deep sense of fulfillment that comes from within. This is your true nature, your God self expressing itself fully. As you embody this state, you will find that your relationships begin to transform. No longer burdened by needs or fear, you become free to love others unconditionally, without expectation or attachment. This is the paradox of letting go. In releasing your grip, you open yourself to deeper, more authentic connections. Now, let us deeper into the concept of being happy alone. This is not about isolation or loneliness. It is about self-sufficiency, about recognizing that you are the source of your own happiness. It is about cultivating a relationship with yourself that is so rich, so fulfilling, that being alone becomes a joy rather than a burden. Begin now to imagine yourself as someone who is completely at ease in their own company. See yourself enjoying solitary activities with genuine pleasure. Feel the peace that comes from quiet moments of self-reflection. Experience the joy of pursuing your passions and interests without needing anyone else's approval or participation. This state of self-sufficiency is your natural state. It is the expression of your God self, the infinite being that you truly are. When you align with this state, you tap into an endless wellspring of joy and fulfillment that is independent of external circumstances or relationships. But remember, my dear friends, this is not about pushing others away or closing your heart. On the contrary, when you learn to be happy alone, you become capable of forming deeper, more authentic connections with others. You approach relationships from a place of wholeness rather than lack, of giving rather than taking. Imagine now a life where your relationships are no longer based on need or fear, but on genuine love and mutual growth. See yourself interacting with others from a place of inner fullness, sharing your joy rather than seeking it from them. This is the natural result of learning to be happy alone. As you cultivate this inner state of happiness and self-sufficiency, you may find that some relationships in your life begin to change. Some may fall away while others deepen and flourish. This is a natural part of the process. Trust in it. For as you align with your true self, your outer world must rearrange itself to match your new inner reality. Now let us address a fear that may arise as you contemplate letting go and being happy alone, the fear of loneliness. This fear is based on a misunderstanding of your true nature. You are never truly alone, for you are one with the infinite. The entire universe resides within you. Imagine, if you will, that you are an ocean. Each relationship, each person in your life is like a wave on the surface of this ocean. Waves may come and go, rise and fall, but the ocean remains vast and unchanging. This is your true nature, infinite, boundless, complete in itself. When you realize this truth, when you align with this state of being, loneliness becomes impossible. For how can you be lonely when you are one with all that is? How can you lack companionship when you are in constant communion with the divine within you? This realization, my friends, is the key to letting go and being happy alone. It is the understanding that you are never truly alone, that the companionship and love you seek are always available to you, for they are your very essence. As you embody this truth, you will find that your need to cling to others diminishes. You become free to love without attachment, to connect without dependency. Your relationships become expressions of your inner joy, rather than attempts to fill an inner void. Now let us explore the practical aspects of letting go and learning to be happy alone. This is not merely a philosophical concept, but a state of being that you can cultivate through consistent practice. Begin by setting aside time each day to be alone with yourself. This is not time to distract yourself with external entertainment, but time to truly be with yourself. Sit in silence. Observe your thoughts and feelings without judgment. Get to know yourself as you would a dear friend. As you do this, you may encounter resistance. Old patterns of thinking, old fears and insecurities may surface. Do not fight them. Simply observe them with compassion, understanding that they are not your true self, but merely conditioned responses that you can choose to release. Practice self-love and self-care. Treat yourself with the same kindness and consideration you would show you deeply care about. Engage in activities that bring you joy and fulfillment, not to impress others or fill time, but because they are genuine expressions of your inner being. Cultivate your passions and interests. Develop skills and knowledge that excite you. As you do this, you build a rich inner world that provides endless satisfaction and fulfillment. You become your own best company, your own source of joy and inspiration. Remember, my friends, the goal is not to avoid relationships or push people away. The goal is to approach relationships from a place of wholeness and self-sufficiency. When you are happy alone, you no longer enter relationships out of need or fear. You choose to connect with others because you want to share your joy, not because you need them to make you happy. As you practice these principles, you may find that your perception of being alone changes dramatically. What once felt like loneliness now becomes solitude, a peaceful, nurturing state where you can commune with your higher self, with the God within you. Imagine now a life where being alone is not something you fear, but something you look forward to. See yourself relishing moments of solitude, using them as opportunities for self-discovery and spiritual growth. Feel the deep sense of peace and contentment that comes from being completely at ease with yourself. This state of being is your birthright. It is the natural expression of your divine nature. As you align with it, you will find that your entire life begins to transform. Your relationships become more authentic and fulfilling. Your work becomes a joyful expression of your inner being rather than a burden. Every aspect of your life begins to reflect the inner peace and happiness you have cultivated. Now, let us address a common misconception about letting go and being happy alone. Some may fear that this means becoming cold or detached, closing their hearts to love and connection. Nothing could be further from the truth. When you learn to be happy alone, when you release your attachments and dependencies, you become capable of loving more deeply and authentically than ever before. Your love becomes an overflowing of your inner joy rather than an attempt to fill an inner void. You love not because you need, but because love is your nature. Imagine, if you will, a love that comes from a place of fullness rather than lack. A love that seeks to give rather than to get. A love that enhances your life but does not define it. This is the kind of love that becomes possible when you learn to be happy alone. As you cultivate this state of being, you may find that the quality of your relationships improves dramatically. No longer burdened by neediness or fear of abandonment, you become free to be fully present with others. You can appreciate them for who they are rather than for what they can do for you. This shift in consciousness affects not only your romantic relationships, but all your connections with family, friends, colleagues, and even strangers. You begin to approach every interaction from a place of inner fullness, ready to give rather than to take. Now, my dear friends, I want you to understand something crucial. This journey of letting go and learning to be happy alone is not always easy. It requires courage, persistence, and faith. There may be moments of doubt, times when old patterns try to reassert themselves. When these moments come, remember this: you are not alone in this journey. The entire universe is supporting you. The God within you is guiding you every step of the way. Trust in this inner guidance, for it will never lead you astray. Imagine now that you are embarking on a great adventure. The destination is not some external place, but the infinite realm within you. Each step you take in letting go, in learning to be happy alone, is a step deeper into your true self, your divine nature. As you progress on this journey, you will discover treasures beyond your wildest dreams. You will uncover depths of joy, peace, and love that you never knew existed within you. You will realize that everything you have ever sought in the external world has always been within you, waiting to be recognized and expressed. This realization, my friends, is the true meaning of letting go and being happy alone. It is not about isolation or detachment, but about reconnecting with your true self, your divine nature. It is about remembering that you are complete, whole, and perfect just as you are. As you embody this truth, as you live from this state of being, you become a light in this world. Your very presence becomes a reminder to others of their own divine nature. Without saying a word, you teach the profound lesson of self-sufficiency and inner joy. Imagine the impact you can have on the world when you approach life from this state of being. See yourself moving through your days with quiet confidence and inner peace. Feel the joy that radiates from you, touching everyone you encounter. This is not just a possibility, it is your destiny, if you choose to claim it. Now let us take a moment to address any lingering doubts or fears you may have about letting go and being happy alone. Perhaps you worry that you will miss out on life's experiences, that you will become isolated or disconnected from others. I tell you now, with absolute certainty, that the opposite is true. When you learn to be happy alone, when you release your attachments and dependencies, you become free to engage with life more fully than ever before. You become capable of forming deeper, more meaningful connections because you are no longer approaching relationships from a place of need or fear. Imagine a life where you are free to love without conditions, to give without expectation, to connect without losing yourself. This is the life that becomes possible when you master the art of being happy alone. Moreover, as you cultivate this inner state of happiness and self-sufficiency, you become magnetic to positive experiences and relationships. The universe responds to your inner state, bringing you circumstances and connections that match your new vibration of joy and self-love. Remember, my friends, the outer world is a reflection of your inner state. As you transform your inner world, your outer world must change to match it. This is the law of your being, the creative principle of the universe itself. So I urge you now to commit fully to this journey of letting go and learning to be happy alone. Embrace it not as a sacrifice, but as the greatest gift you can give yourself. For in doing so, you reclaim your power, you remember your divinity, you step into the fullness of who you truly are. Begin today, in this very moment, to live from the state of someone who is completely at peace with themselves, who finds joy and fulfillment in their own company. Feel it, embody it, become it in your imagination, and watch as your outer world shifts to match this new inner reality. As you practice this, you may encounter resistance from your old self, from ingrained patterns of thinking and behaving. When this happens, do not fight against it. Simply observe it with compassion, understanding that it is not your true self, but merely a habit of consciousness that you are now choosing to release. Remember always, you are the operant power in your reality. You are the creator of your experience. The happiness you seek, the love you desire, the fulfillment you crave, all of these are already within you, waiting to be recognized and expressed. As you progress on this journey, you will likely find that your perspective on relationships changes dramatically. You begin to see them not as sources of happiness or security, but as opportunities for growth, for sharing, for expressing the love that already fills your heart. Imagine now a life where you approach every relationship, romantic, platonic, familial, from a place of inner fullness. See yourself giving love freely, without need or expectation. Feel the joy of connecting with others, not to fill a void, but to share the abundance that overflows from your heart. This, my dear friends, is the true meaning of letting go and being happy alone. It is not about isolation or detachment, but about discovering the infinite wellspring of love and joy within you. It is about becoming so complete in yourself that your relationships become expressions of your inner abundance, rather than attempts to find traps. As you embody this state of being, you will find that the quality of your relationships improves dramatically. You attract people who resonate with your new vibration of self-love and inner peace. Your connections become deeper, more authentic, more fulfilling. Moreover, you become capable of loving others more fully and unconditionally. No longer burdened by neediness or fear of loss, you can appreciate others for who they are rather than for what they can do for you. You become free to support their growth and happiness without losing yourself in the process. This shift in consciousness extends beyond your personal relationships to every aspect of your life. Your work becomes a joyful expression of your inner being rather than a means to gain approval or security. Your pursuits and passions become pure expressions of your unique gifts rather than attempts to fill an inner void. Imagine now a life where everything you do comes from a place of inner fullness, where every action is an overflow of the joy and love within you. This is not just a possibility, it is your birthright, your natural state of being when you remember your true nature. As you progress on this journey of letting go and being happy alone, you may find that your entire perception of life changes. What once seemed like challenges or obstacles now become opportunities for growth and self-discovery. What once triggered fear or anxiety now becomes an invitation to trust in your inner strength and wisdom. You begin to see the perfection in every moment, the divine orchestration behind every experience. You recognize that everything in your life, every person, every situation, every seeming setback is serving your highest good, helping you to remember and express your true nature. This realization, my friends, is the ultimate freedom. It is the understanding that you are not a victim of circumstances, but the creator of your reality. It is the knowing that your happiness, your fulfillment, your peace are not dependent on anything or anyone outside of you, but are the very essence of who you are. As you embody this truth, as you live from this state of being, you become a living testament to the power of consciousness. Your very presence becomes a teaching, a reminder to others of their own divine nature and infinite potential. Imagine the impact you can have on the world when you approach life from this state of inner fullness and self-sufficiency. See yourself moving through your days with quiet confidence and radiant joy. Feel the love that flows from you, touching everyone you encounter, transforming lives without a word being spoken. This, my dear friends, is your true purpose, to remember your divine nature and to express it fully in the world. Letting go and learning to be happy alone is not an end in itself, but a means to this greater purpose. It is the path to becoming who you truly are, to living as the God self that is your true identity. So I urge you now, with all the love in my heart, to embrace this journey fully. Commit yourself to the practice of letting go, of releasing your attachments and dependencies. Dedicate yourself to cultivating inner joy and self-sufficiency. Begin each day by reminding yourself of your true nature. Before you open your eyes in the morning, feel the completeness, the wholeness, the divine perfection that you are. Carry this feeling with you throughout your day, letting it inform every thought, every word, every action. When you encounter situations that challenge your new state of being, when old patterns of thinking or behaving try to reassert themselves, do not fight against them. Simply observe them with compassion, understanding that they are not your true self, but merely habits of consciousness that you are now choosing to release. Remember always that you are not alone in this journey. The entire universe is supporting you. The God within you is guiding you every step of the way. Trust in this inner guidance, for it will never lead you astray. As you persist in this practice, as you continue to embody the state of someone who is completely at peace with themselves, who finds joy and fulfillment in their own company, you will find that your entire life transforms. Your relationships become more authentic and fulfilling. Your work becomes a joyful expression of your unique gifts. Every aspect of your life begins to reflect the inner peace and happiness you have cultivated. Moreover, you become a beacon of light in this world, a living example of the joy and fulfillment that come from true self-sufficiency. Without saying a word, you teach others the profound lesson of inner happiness and self-love. Imagine the ripple effect you can create in the world as you embody this state of being. See how your presence alone can inspire others to look within themselves, to discover their own inner wellspring of joy and fulfillment. Feel the satisfaction of knowing that by healing yourself, by remembering your true nature, you are contributing to the healing and awakening of the entire world. This, my dear friends, is the true power of letting go and learning to be happy alone. It is not just about personal fulfillment, but about transforming the world from the inside out. It is about remembering and expressing your divine nature, and in doing so, reminding others of their own divinity. As we come to the close of our time together, I want to leave you with this final thought. The journey of letting go and learning to be happy alone is not always easy, but it is always worth it. It is the path to true freedom, to lasting happiness, to the full expression of your divine nature. So go forth, my friends, with courage and determination. Embrace this journey as the greatest adventure of your life. Trust in the process, have faith in your inner guidance, and know that with every step you take, you are moving closer to the full realization of who you truly are. Remember always, you are complete, you are whole. You are the source of your own happiness. Everything you have ever sought in the external world is already within you, waiting to be recognized and expressed. As you embody this truth, as you live from this state of inner fullness and self-sufficiency, you become a living testament to the power of consciousness. Your very presence becomes a blessing to the world, a reminder of the infinite potential that resides within each of us. Thank you for your attention, for your willingness to explore these profound truths. May your journey of self-discovery and transformation be filled with joy, wonder, and the deep satisfaction of living as your truest, most authentic self. And may you always remember the divine power that resides within you, waiting to be expressed in all its magnificence. Go now and create the reality you desire. For you are the author of your story, the creator of your world. You are, in truth, the very operation of God in your reality. Embrace this truth, live from it, and watch as your life transforms in the most beautiful and unexpected ways. Thank you And may your journey be blessed with the full realization of your divine nature in the deep, abiding happiness that naturally flows from this knowing. You are the miracle you seek. You are the love you desire. You are in every moment the full expression of divine joy and fulfillment made manifest. Go forth and live from this truth, now and always. Have you ever noticed that life feels lighter, more magical when you truly let go? When you stop trying to control everything and just breathe? Today I'm going to share something that changed my life completely, and I know it will change yours too. Close your eyes for a moment. Feel the gentle rise and fall of your breath. This simple act of being present, of letting go, this is where your power lies. Not in struggling, not in fighting, but in surrendering to the infinite intelligence within you. You see, most people live their entire lives in a state of resistance. They're constantly pushing against what is, fighting what could be, worrying about what might be. But I'm here to tell you something that might shock you. The universe isn't separate from you. It's an extension of your consciousness. Think about how you feel when you're truly happy. In those moments, you're not trying to control anything. You're simply being. This state of being, this natural flow, this is your true power. But most never realize this because they're too busy trying to make things happen. Let me share something profound with you. Every time you worry about the future, every time you stress about how something will work out, you're actually resisting the natural flow of life. You're telling the universe you don't trust it. And what you resist persists. I remember a time when I was constantly trying to control everything in my life. Every detail, every outcome. I was exhausted, frustrated, and nothing seemed to work out the way I wanted. Then I discovered something that changed everything. The power of letting go. You see, letting go isn't about giving up. It's about understanding that there's an intelligence far greater than your conscious mind at work. When you truly grasp this, something magical happens. Life starts working for you instead of against you. Think about when you're falling asleep. You don't try to fall asleep, do you? You relax and allow sleep to come. This same principle applies to everything in life. The more you try to force things, the more they resist. The more you let go and trust, the more naturally things flow. Most people approach life like they're swimming upstream, constantly fighting against the current. But what if I told you that everything you want is actually downstream? What if all you need to do is stop struggling and allow yourself to flow with life instead of against it? The universe operates through perfect law. Just as gravity doesn't sometimes work and sometimes doesn't, it's always working. The law of consciousness is always working too. Your only job is to align yourself with it through the art of letting go. Consider this. When you plant a seed in the ground, you don't dig it up every day to check if it's growing. You trust the process. You know that the seed contains everything that needs to become what it's meant to be. Your desires are exactly the same. Most people don't realize that they're constant checking their anxiety, their need to control. These are the very things preventing their desires from manifesting. It's like constantly digging up the seed to see if it's growing. When you truly understand the art of letting go, you'll notice something remarkable. Things start working out better than you could have planned. It's as if life itself is orchestrating events in your favor. But this can only happen when you get out of your own way. Think about breathing for a moment. You don't control each breath, do you? There's something within you that knows exactly how to breathe, how to digest food, how to make your heart beat. This same intelligence knows exactly how to bring your desires to fruition. I've observed that most people live in a state of constant tension. They're always trying to figure everything out, always trying to make things happen. But life doesn't work that way. Life unfolds naturally when you allow it to. Consider how a flower blooms. It doesn't strain or struggle. It doesn't try to force its petals open. It simply allows the process to unfold naturally. This is exactly how manifestation works, through allowing, not forcing. The secret that most miss is this: your natural state is one of ease and flow. Struggle is learned. Anxiety is learned. Trust and relaxation are your natural state, just as they were when you were a small child. Most never realize that their power lies not in doing, but in being. When you're in the right state of consciousness, life moves you toward your desires automatically. You don't have to figure out how. Think about when you're in a state of complete trust. Notice how everything seems to work out effortlessly. This isn't coincidence. This is the natural result of letting go and allowing the infinite intelligence within you to work on your behalf. Your only job is to maintain the state of the wish fulfilled. Not through effort or strain, but through relaxed awareness. Just as you naturally accept that the sun will rise tomorrow, accept that what you desire is already yours. I've watched countless people struggle because they think they need to make things happen. But I tell you this, everything you want is already created. Your job is simply to relax into the state where it exists. Consider how easily water flows around obstacles. It doesn't fight them. It doesn't try to break them down. It simply finds another way. This is how you should move through life, with fluid adaptability and trust. Most people approach manifestation like it's a battle to be won. But I tell you this, it's a garden to be tended. Plant your seed, your desire, water it with attention, and then let it grow naturally. Think about when you're deeply relaxed, perhaps just before falling asleep. In those moments, your mind isn't racing to solve problems. You're simply being. This state of relaxed awareness is where your true power lies. Most never understand that their anxiety about outcomes is actually creating resistance to those very outcomes. It's like trying to drive with one foot on the gas and one on the brake. Release the brake of worry and watch how naturally things begin to flow. I've witnessed remarkable transformations when people finally grasp this truth, that their only job is to maintain the feeling of the wish fulfilled, not through effort or strain, but through relaxed, natural knowing. Consider how effortlessly your heart beats, how naturally your lungs breathe, how perfectly your body maintains its temperature. This same intelligence knows exactly how to bring your desires into reality. Trust it. The secret that transforms lives is this: your external world must conform to your internal state. But this doesn't happen through force. It happens through surrender, through letting go of the how, and trusting in the perfect law. Think about times when things worked out perfectly without your intervention. Remember that feeling of pleasant surprise? That's what happens when you get out of your own way and allow life to work for you. Most people live in a state of constant mental chatter, always trying to figure everything out. But I tell you this, your intellectual mind is not equipped to orchestrate the infinite details required to manifest your desires. Let go and trust. Consider how naturally a river flows to the ocean. It doesn't stress about the path. It doesn't worry about obstacles. It simply flows, knowing it will reach its destination. This is how you should live, in complete trust of the process. Your power lies in your ability to feel the reality of your desire now, while completely letting go of how it will manifest. The how is not your concern. Your only concern is maintaining the state of having already received. I've observed that those who manifest most easily are those who understand that letting go isn't giving up. It's surrendering to a higher intelligence that knows far better than their conscious mind how to bring about their desires. Think about when you're truly in the flow of something you love. Time disappears, worry vanishes, and everything seems to happen perfectly. This state of flow is your natural state. The more you trust, the more you experience it. Most never realize that their power lies in their ability to be still. Not a physical stillness, but a mental stillness. When your mind is still, when you're truly at peace with where you are, that's when magic happens. Consider how a seed becomes a tree. It doesn't happen through force or struggle. It happens through a natural unfolding, a perfect sequence of events that the seed doesn't need to control or understand. Think about how naturally you trust that night will turn to day. You don't lie awake wondering if the sun will rise. This same level of natural trust must be applied to everything you desire. It's not blind faith. It's understanding the law. Most people live in a state of constant seeking, always looking for their desire to manifest. But this very state of seeking implies that what you want is absent. The secret is to live as if you already have what you desire. I've watched people struggle for years because they keep trying to control the process. But when they finally let go, when they truly surrender to the perfect law within them, everything begins to shift effortlessly. Consider how easily you accept your own reflection in a mirror. There's no doubt, no questioning. This same level of natural acceptance must be applied to your desired state. Feel it as real as your reflection. The secret that changes everything is this: your consciousness is the only reality. Everything else is an effect, a shadow of your state. But most people spend their lives trying to change the shadow instead of changing the state that casts it. Think about when you're completely absorbed in something you love. You're not trying to make anything happen. You're simply being. This state of pure being, free from anxiety and effort, is where true creation occurs. Most never realize that their power lies in their ability to be still and know. Not intellectual knowing, but a deep, unshakable knowing that transcends logic and external evidence. Consider how naturally water takes the shape of its container. Your consciousness is like water. It takes the shape of whatever state you pour it into. Choose your state wisely, for it will manifest in your world. Your external reality is nothing more than your internal state pushed out. But this doesn't mean you need to force changes. It means you need to relax into the state where what you desire already exists. I've observed that those who manifest most easily are those who understand that letting go isn't a passive state. It's an active trust in the perfect law. They know that what they desire is already theirs in consciousness. Think about how you feel when you're completely at peace. There's no struggle, no effort, no trying to make things happen. This state of peace is actually your most powerful creative state. Most people approach their desires like they're reaching for something far away. But I tell you this, your desire isn't out there somewhere. It's a state of consciousness that you must occupy now. Consider how naturally you accept that spring follows winter. You don't worry about it. You don't try to make it happen. This same natural acceptance must be applied to the fulfillment of your desires. Think about the feeling of complete certainty you have about simple facts, like knowing your own name. That same level of certainty, that same absence of doubt, must be applied to your desires, not through force, but through understanding. Most people live in constant anticipation, always waiting for their desire to manifest. But this state of waiting keeps pushing the manifestation into an endless future. The secret is to live as if it's already done. I've witnessed the most remarkable transformations when people finally grasp that their power lies not in doing, but in being. When they stop trying to make things happen and start allowing things to unfold naturally. Consider how effortlessly you fall asleep when you're truly tired. You don't force it, you allow it. This same principle applies to manifestation. The more you try to force it, the more it eludes you. The more you allow, the more naturally it comes. The secret that most miss is this: your imagination isn't showing you possibilities. It's showing you realities that already exist in consciousness. Your job is simply to occupy the state where your desire exists. Think about how you feel when you remember something that actually happened. There's a certain solidity to it, a realness. Your desired state must feel just as solid, just as real, just as unquestionable. Most never realize that their power lies in their ability to feel the reality of their desire more intensely than they feel current circumstances. When you master this, manifestation becomes automatic. Consider how naturally you accept the changing of seasons. You don't resist it, you don't doubt it. This same natural acceptance must be applied to the unfolding of your desires. Your consciousness is like a signal you're constantly broadcasting to the universe. The clearer the signal, meaning the more stable your state, the faster the manifestation. But clarity comes through relaxation, not effort. I have observed that those who manifest most easily are those who understand that circumstances don't create state. State creates circumstances. They lie from the end, feeling it real now. Think about how you feel when you're absolutely certain about something. You don't try to make it true, you know it's true. This is the feeling state that manifests instantly. Most people approach manifestation like it's something they need to figure out. But I tell you this, it's already figured out. Your only job is to occupy the state where what you desire already exists. Consider how naturally you accept your own existence. You don't question it, you don't doubt it. This same level of unquestionable acceptance must be applied to your desired state. Think about how easily you accept that your reflection in a mirror is yours. There's no doubt, no questioning. This same natural acceptance must be applied to your desires. They are as much yours as your reflection. Most people live in a state of constant comparison, always measuring where they are against where they want to be. But this very act of comparison keeps them stuck in the state of wanting. The secret is to live from the state of having. I've watched countless individuals transform their entire life when they finally understood that their power isn't in changing thinking. Consider how naturally you accept that when you drop something it will fall. You don't doubt gravity. This same unwavering acceptance must be applied to the law of consciousness. It's just as reliable as gravity. The secret that changes everything is this: your external world has no choice but to reflect your inner state. It's not personal, it's law. Just as a mirror must reflect what stands before it, your world must reflect your consciousness. Think about how you feel when you're completely immersed in doing something you love. Time disappears, worry vanishes, and you're simply being. This pure state of being is where true creative power lies. Most never realize that every moment of discomfort is actually a call to shift states. When you feel dissatisfied, it's not the circumstance that needs to change. It's your state of consciousness. Consider how naturally you accept that tomorrow will come. You don't worry about it. You don't try to make it happen. This same natural confidence must be applied to the unfolding of your desires. Your power to create isn't something you need to acquire. It's something you're using every moment. The question is, are you using it consciously or unconsciously? I have observed that those who manifest most easily are those who understand that their state of consciousness is like a frequency they're broadcasting. The clearer and more consistent the frequency, the faster the manifestation. Think about how you feel when you remember something that actually happened. There's a certainty to it, an unquestionable reality. Your desired state must feel just as certain, just as real. Most people spend their lives trying to manifest from a state of wanting, not realizing that wanting can only create more wanting. The secret is to manifest from a state of having. Consider how naturally you accept the air you breathe. You don't doubt its presence. You don't worry about its availability. This same natural acceptance must be applied to your desires. Think about how effortlessly water finds its level. It doesn't struggle. It doesn't force. It simply flows. Your manifestation should come just as naturally, just as effortlessly when you're in the right state. Most people live in a constant state of mental warfare, fighting against their current reality while trying to create a new one. But this very fight creates resistance. The secret is to relax into your desired state as naturally as you relax into sleep. I've witnessed remarkable transformations when people finally grasp that their only task is to maintain the feeling of their desire fulfilled, not through strain or effort, but through natural, relaxed awareness. Consider how easily you differentiate between hot and cold. You don't think about it, you just know. This same level of immediate, unquestioning knowing must be applied to your desired state. The secret that most never realize is this: your imagination isn't showing you fantasies, it's showing you realities that already exist in consciousness. When you truly grasp this, manifestation becomes instantaneous. Think about how naturally you accept that your heart will keep beating. You don't worry about it, you don't try to control it. This same level of natural trust must be applied to the manifestation of your desires. Most never understand that their power lies not in what they do, but in the state from which they do it. The same action taken from different states produces entirely different results. Consider how easily you recognize your own voice. There's no doubt, no questioning. Your desired state must feel just as familiar, just as undeniably yours. Your external world is nothing but your internal state made visible. But this doesn't mean you need to fight against current circumstances. Simply occupy the state where what you desire already exists. I've observed that those who manifest most easily are those who understand that circumstances are shadows. And you can't fight a shadow. You can only change the object casting it, your state of consciousness. Think about how naturally you accept the ground beneath your feet. You don't question whether it will support you. This same unquestioning trust must be applied to the law of consciousness. Most people approach manifestation like it's a battle to be won. But I tell you this, it is a state to be occupied. When you occupy the right state, everything else adjusts automatically. Consider how easily you know whether you're happy or sad. You don't need to think about it. You just know. This same immediate knowing must be applied to your desired state. Think about how naturally you accept that after every night comes day. This isn't hope or wishful thinking, it's knowing. Your desired state must feel just as certain, just as inevitable. Most people live in constant mental turmoil, always torn between what is and what could be. But this very division keeps them stuck. The secret is to be single-minded in your consciousness of the desired state. I've watched countless lives transform when people finally understand that their power lies not in changing things on the outside, but in changing the state from which they view everything. Consider how easily you know your own name. There's no doubt, no questioning, no need for evidence. Your desired state must feel just as natural, just as undeniably yours. The secret that changes everything is this. Your consciousness is like a radio signal you're constantly broadcasting. The universe has no choice but to respond to your frequency. But most people keep changing stations. Think about how naturally you accept that spring follows winter. You don't worry about it. You don't try to make it happen. This same natural acceptance must be applied to the unfolding of your desires. Most never realize that their power lies in their ability to be still. Not physical stillness, but mental stillness. When your mind is truly still, truly at peace with your desired state, that's when magic happens. Consider how effortlessly you recognize your own reflection. You don't need to convince yourself it's you. You just know. This same level of natural recognition must be applied to your desired state. Your external reality is nothing but your internal state projected outward. But this projection isn't something you need to force. It happens automatically when you maintain the right state. I've observed that those who manifest most easily are those who understand that their job isn't to make things happen, but to occupy the state where things have already happened. Think about how naturally you accept that water is wet. You don't question it, you don't doubt it. This same unquestioning acceptance must be applied to your desired state. Most people spend their lives trying to bridge the gap between where they are and where they want to be. But I tell you this, there is no gap except in consciousness. Consider how easily you know whether you're awake or asleep. This knowing isn't something you achieve, it's something you experience. Your desired state must be experienced just as naturally. Think about how naturally you accept that your eyes see color. You don't question it, you don't try to make it happen. This same natural acceptance must be applied to your manifestations. Most people live in a state of constant seeking, always looking outside themselves for evidence of their desires. But this very act of seeking implies absence. The secret is to live from the state of fulfillment. I've witnessed the most profound transformations when people finally grasp that their only responsibility is to maintain the feeling tone of their desire fulfilled, not through force, but through relaxed awareness. Consider how effortlessly you know whether you're hungry or full. There's no debate, no questioning. Your desired state must feel just as undeniable, just as real to your consciousness. The secret that most miss is this. Your imagination isn't simply showing you possibilities. It's showing you realities that already exist in consciousness. Your job is to occupy these realities through feeling. Think about how naturally you accept that ice is cold. You don't need proof, you don't question it. This same level of natural knowing must be applied to your desired state. Most never understand that their power lies not in what they do, but in the state from which they do it. The same action taken from different states produces entirely different results. Consider how easily you recognize your favorite song. The moment you hear it, you know it. Your desired state must be just as instantly recognizable to your consciousness. Your consciousness is like the soil in which all seeds of possibility grow. But most people keep digging up their seeds to check if they're growing, not realizing that this very act prevents growth. I've observed that those who manifest most easily are those who understand that circumstances don't create consciousness. Consciousness creates circumstances. Think about how naturally you accept that fire is hot. There's no doubt, no need for proof. Your desired state must feel just as undeniably real. Most people approach manifestation like it's something they need to achieve. But I tell you this, it's something you need to allow. It's already done in consciousness. Consider how effortlessly you know whether you're comfortable or uncomfortable. This immediate knowing must be applied to your desired state. It's not something you figure out, it's something you feel. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to effortlessly attract everything they desire, while others struggle despite endless effort? The answer lies not in what you're doing, but in where you're placing your attention. Today I'm going to share with you the profound science of manifestation that has been proven in our laboratories. Our research has uncovered something remarkable about human consciousness. When you focus your attention on something specific, you activate neural networks that literally reshape your brain's architecture. But here's what's fascinating. This reshaping isn't limited to your physical brain. Think about the last time you intensely desired something. Our studies show that in that moment, you were generating electromagnetic fields that extended far beyond your physical body. These fields interact with the quantum fabric of reality itself. The laboratory data reveals something extraordinary. When you maintain focused attention on a specific outcome for just 3 minutes, you trigger what we call manifestation sequences in your nervous system. These sequences create measurable changes in your brain chemistry. Our consciousness research demonstrates that what we focus on literally alters our DNA expression. When you direct your attention toward what you want rather than what you don't want, you activate dormant genetic potentials associated with enhanced creation abilities. No. Now, going back to our study, this old awesome thought. Consider this profound discovery from our studies. Your cells are constantly listening to your internal dialogue. Every thought you think creates biochemical changes that either support or inhibit your natural ability to attract what you desire. The brain imaging research shows something fascinating. When you maintain focused attention on your desired reality, you activate what we call quantum coherent networks. These networks synchronize your brain waves with the frequency of what you want to attract. Now, our studies on consciousness reveal that when you persist in holding your attention on a specific outcome, you generate what we call probability fields that actually influence future events. This isn't measurable quantum mechanics. I think about this remarkable finding from our laboratory research. When you focus intensely on what you want to create, you enter what we call manifestation states. In these states, your brain produces specific frequencies that harmonize with similar frequencies in your environment. The data from our cellular studies shows that when you maintain consistent focus on your desired reality, you literally reprogram your body's electromagnetic field. This field extends several feet beyond your physical form and influences the quantum field around you. Our research on neural plasticity demonstrates something extraordinary. When you direct your attention toward what you want to experience, you create new neural pathways that support the manifestation of those experiences. Consider this fascinating discovery. When you focus on specific outcomes with emotional intensity, you generate what we call resonance patterns that attract similar frequencies into your experience. This is pure physics, not philosophy. The speech continues exploring various aspects of focused attention and manifestation. Through scientific understanding and practical application, the neuroscience of attention reveals something profound. When you focus intensely on your desired reality, you activate what we call creation circuits in your brain. These circuits generate electromagnetic frequencies that extend into the quantum field. Our laboratory studies demonstrate that every thought you maintain creates ripples in the fabric of space-time. When you persist in focusing on specific outcomes, these ripples become waves of probability that influence future events. Think about this remarkable discovery. Your nervous system doesn't distinguish between what you're experiencing and what you're imagining with emotional intensity. This means you're constantly broadcasting frequencies that attract corresponding experiences. The research on consciousness shows that when you maintain unwavering focus on what you desire, you enter what we call manifestation zones, states where the gap between thought and reality collapses. Our brain imaging studies reveal something extraordinary. When you direct your attention towards specific outcomes, you activate dormant areas of your brain associated with enhanced creation abilities. Consider this fascinating finding. Your cells are continuously responding to the frequency of your focused attention. When you maintain concentration on what you want to experience, you literally alter your biological expression. The data from our quantum research demonstrates that focused attention generates what we call probability fields. These fields interact with the quantum fabric of reality, increasing the likelihood of specific outcomes materializing. Our studies on neural coherence show that when you persist in holding your attention on desired experiences, you create measurable changes in your brain's electromagnetic field that extend far beyond your physical form. Think about this profound discovery. When you focus intensely on specific outcomes, you trigger what we call synchronicity sequences in your nervous system. These sequences align your internal frequency with what you want to attract. The research on cellular intelligence reveals that your body's trillions of cells respond instantly to where you place your attention. This response creates biochemical changes that either support or inhibit your natural manifestation abilities. He's building something, power manifestation. Consider this remarkable finding from our laboratory studies. When you maintain focused attention on what you want to create, you generate what we call quantum resonance patterns that attract similar frequencies into your experience. Our consciousness research shows that every thought you think creates ripples in the quantum field. When you persist in focusing on specific outcomes, these ripples become waves of probability that influence future events. Think about this extraordinary discovery. Your nervous system broadcasts specific frequencies based on where you place your attention. These frequencies interact with the quantum field, attracting experiences that match their vibration. The data from our brain study reveals that when you maintain unwavering focus on your desired reality, you activate what we call manifestation networks, neural pathways that support the materialization of specific outcomes. Now, research on cellular memory demonstrates that every cell in your body responds to the frequency of your focused attention. This response creates measurable changes in your electromagnetic field that influence probability itself. Consider this fascinating finding. When you direct your attention toward what you want to experience, you generate what we call coherence fields that extend several feet beyond your physical form. The studies on consciousness show that your focused attention creates specific brainwave patterns. These patterns interact with the quantum field, increasing the likelihood of desired experiences manifesting in your reality. Think about this profound discovery from our laboratory research. When you maintain consistent focus on specific outcomes, you trigger what we call probability cascades that influence future events in measurable ways. Our latest research reveals something extraordinary. When you maintain unwavering focus on your desired reality, you activate what we call quantum attraction networks in your brain. These networks generate specific frequencies that shape future probabilities. Think about this remarkable discovery. Every moment of focused attention creates ripples in the quantum field. When these ripples align with your desired outcome, they become powerful waves of manifestation energy. The laboratory studies show that when you persist in directing your attention toward specific experiences, you enter what we call creation states, periods where the boundary between thought and reality becomes increasingly permeable. Our consciousness research demonstrates that focused attention generates electromagnetic fields that extend up to 30 feet beyond your physical form. These fields interact with the quantum fabric of reality in measurable ways. Consider this fascinating finding. When you maintain consistent focus on what you want to experience, you trigger what we call synchronicity sequences in your nervous system. These sequences align your internal frequency with external possibilities. The brain imaging data reveals something profound. Focused attention activates dormant areas of your brain associated with enhanced manifestation abilities. These areas generate specific frequencies that attract corresponding experiences. Our studies on cellular intelligence show that every cell in your body responds instantly to where you place your attention. This response creates biochemical changes that influence your ability to attract desired outcomes. Think about this extraordinary discovery. When you direct your attention towards specific experiences, you generate what we call probability fields that interact with the quantum fabric of reality itself. The research on neural coherence demonstrates that focused attention creates measurable changes in your brain's electromagnetic field. These changes influence the likelihood of specific outcomes materializing in your experience. Consider this remarkable finding from our laboratory studies. When you maintain unwavering focus on your desired reality, you activate what we call manifestation circuits that support the materialization of specific outcomes. Our consciousness research reveals that every thought you maintain creates specific frequency patterns. These patterns interact with the quantum field, attracting experiences that match their vibration. Think about this profound discovery. Your nervous system broadcasts electromagnetic frequencies based on where you place your attention. These frequencies extend into the quantum field, influencing future probabilities. The data from our brain studies shows that when you persist in focusing on specific outcomes, you trigger what we call quantum resonance patterns that attract similar frequencies into your experience. Our research on cellular memory demonstrates that focused attention creates measurable changes in your electromagnetic field. These changes influence the probability of desired experiences manifesting in your reality. Consider this fascinating finding. When you maintain consistent focus on what you want to experience, you generate what we call coherence fields that extend several feet beyond your physical form. The studies on consciousness show that your focused attention creates specific brainwave patterns. These patterns interact with the quantum field, increasing the likelihood of desired experiences materializing. Think about this extraordinary discovery from our laboratory research. When you direct your attention towards specific outcomes, you trigger what we call manifestation sequences that influence future events in measurable ways. Our research on neuroplasticity reveals that focused attention creates new neural pathways that support the materialization of desired experiences. These pathways become stronger with consistent use. The quantum mechanics of focused attention reveals something remarkable. When you maintain concentrated awareness on your desired reality, you activate what we call creation frequencies in your nervous system. These frequencies ripple through the fabric of space-time itself. Our laboratory findings demonstrate that when you persist in holding your attention on specific outcomes, you generate what we call manifestation fields that extend into the quantum realm. These fields influence probability at the subatomic level. Think about this profound discovery. Every sustained thought creates specific electromagnetic patterns. When these patterns align with your desired experience, they become powerful attractors in the quantum field. The research on consciousness shows that focused attention triggers what we call synchronicity cascades, sequences of events that appear random but are actually responding to your internal frequency. Consider this fascinating finding. When you maintain unwavering focus on what you want to experience, you enter what we call quantum coherence states, where thought and reality begin to merge. Our brain imaging studies reveal that focused attention activates dormant neural networks associated with enhanced manifestation abilities. These networks generate specific frequencies that shape future possibilities. The data from our cellular research demonstrates that every cell in your body responds to the frequency of your focused attention, creating biochemical changes that influence your attraction field. Think about this extraordinary discovery. When you direct your attention towards specific outcomes, you generate what we call probability waves that interact with the quantum fabric of reality. Our studies on neuroplasticity show that focused attention creates new pathways in your brain that support the materialization of desired experiences. These pathways strengthen with consistent use. Consider this remarkable finding. When you maintain concentrated awareness and on your desired reality, you activate what we call resonance fields that attract corresponding experiences into your life. The research on consciousness reveals that every thought you hold creates specific frequency patterns. These patterns extend into the quantum field, influencing future probabilities. How do we learn and shift our frequency? Think about this profound discovery. Your nervous system broadcasts electromagnetic frequencies based on where you place your attention. These frequencies interact with the quantum field in measurable ways. Our laboratory studies show that when you persist in focusing on specific outcomes, you trigger what we call manifestation sequences that influence the likelihood of desired experiences materializing. The data from our brain research demonstrates that focused attention creates measurable changes in your electromagnetic field. These changes extend several feet beyond your physical form. Consider this fascinating finding. When you maintain consistent focus on what you want to experience, you generate what we call quantum attraction patterns that draw similar frequencies into your reality. Our studies on cellular intelligence reveal that focused attention creates biochemical changes that either support or inhibit your natural manifestation abilities. Think about this extraordinary discovery. When you direct your attention toward specific outcomes, you activate what we call creation networks that influence future events in measurable ways. The research on neural coherence shows that focused attention generates specific brainwave patterns. These patterns interact with the quantum field, increasing the probability of desired experiences manifesting. Our latest quantum research reveals something transformative. When you maintain pure focus on your desired reality, you activate what we call manifestation potential that exists in every particle of your being. These particles respond instantly to your attention. Consider this final revelation. The electromagnetic field of your focused attention extends into dimensions beyond time and space. In these dimensions, everything exists in a state of pure possibility, waiting for your attention to give it form. The laboratory studies confirm that in the last moments before manifestation, you enter what we call quantum resonance, a state where your internal frequency perfectly matches the frequency of your desire. This is the moment of transformation. Think about this culminating discovery. Your focused attention creates a bridge between potential and reality. When you maintain this bridge through unwavering concentration, possibilities collapse into experience. Our consciousness research shows that in the final phase of manifestation, you generate what we call coherence waves that ripple through the quantum field, bringing your desired reality into physical form. Remember this fundamental truth. You are not separate from what you observe. Your attention is the force that shapes the quantum field into tangible experience. This is not theory. This is proven quantum mechanics. The data from our final studies reveals that when you maintain absolute clarity of focus, you enter what we call creation consciousness, a state where thought and reality become one unified field. Consider this closing insight. Every moment contains infinite potential, waiting for your focused attention to give it direction. Your attention is the key that unlocks these infinite possibilities. In these concluding moments, understand that you are not just observing reality. You are creating it through your focused attention. Every thought you maintain shapes the quantum field into corresponding experience. And so I leave you with this final truth. Your attention is your most powerful tool for creating reality. Use it wisely, direct it consciously, and watch as the universe rearranges itself to match the picture in your mind. Remember, what you focus on expands. What you think about manifests, and what you give your attention to grows. This is not philosophy. This is the science of consciousness itself. Your journey of conscious creation begins now. Every moment is a new opportunity to direct your attention toward what you want to experience. The quantum field awaits your instructions. Trust in the process, maintain your focus, and watch as your reality transforms to match your internal vision. This is your natural power. Use it consciously, use it wisely, and use it now.